Yo, what's up, Kayak Mike here. We're going to go over the Scioto River event that just happened this past weekend. I'm going to go over how the payouts are done because I saw a bunch of brand new names, just so everyone's aware how we complete those and the time frame that they are completed on. We're going to go over the results here. I'm going to show you a couple fish. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how I judge the fish. And we're also at the end going to go over why this will never be a boat tournament and why we will not allow boaters in this event ever. Boaters, I will make an event for you, happily. But this is a kayak event that allows bank fishermen to fish at their own risk. This is not a boat event. Boaters constantly say every single month when we post the results, why don't you let boaters in? It's not fair. Well, boaters, I've asked about 20 boat directors if I could fish their events with my kayak, and do you want to know what every single one of them said? No. And you know why? I'm in a kayak. I'm not in a boat. It's a kayak tournament. It's not a boat tournament. So I will make you a tournament. I will happily run a tournament on here for you. But you're not allowed in the kayak tournament. It's a kayak division tournament. I don't understand why boaters can't get that through their heads. Like, we'll make a boat tournament happily. We'll make you a tournament. If you want a tournament, I'll make it for you and boaters, and you guys can sign up and do your thing. But you're not getting in this event. This is for kayakers. And yeah, we'll talk about that more later. But let's focus on these guys who participated in this tournament. So we have Aaron Grubb winning, Marcus Justice taking second, Joel Harris taking third, Corey Grubb taking fourth. Those are the cashers. 4 people cashed in this event. So let's go down. We're going to showcase some of the fish. We'll click on a random blue channel and flathead here. So, and Marcus Justice had the biggest fish of the tournament, 32.25 flathead. So here is your blue by Aaron, 30 inches, clearly touches 30 inches. Identifier, I can see the left eye. Very good. So there's no slot limits in this tournament, so they can be measured on their belly or on their side. Either way works. If they're measured on their side, it has to be their right side. So here's Marcus Justice with a flathead. I believe this is the big fish of the tournament. So this is a lot of people make this a lot harder than it is. This is how you have to submit a fish to an online catfishing event. It's literally this simple. Is their nose bumped? Is the identifier in the picture? Is it legible? Can I read everything? And is the left eye, can I see the left eye? That's all you have to do. A lot of people make it a lot harder than that. Those are the only criteria that has to be met. Now, we have a lot of little rules in there for when people screw things up, and then I have to do deductions. But that's the criteria. A lot of people stray away from online tournaments because they think the rules are overbearing sometimes. But that's all you have to do. Put them on the board. Make sure I can see the left eye. Make sure their face is bumped. I can read the identifier, and it's legible. It's that simple. So anyone who's new, who's cautious of entering because they're maybe worried about breaking a rule, etc. Guys, it's literally that simple. But yeah, come down here, 32 and a quarter, very good, and it's also the farthest that it's clearly visibly touching the board. So every now and then, flatheads, their tails will not lie flat. Since their tails are so wide, sometimes they will come up, and then the camera angle will make it look like it's a longer fish than it actually is. This is clearly touching the board. But let's say this was up a little bit and the angle made it look like 32 and a half inches. I would just keep going until I felt like I found the spot that was farthest, clearly touching the board. And that's what I mean. Like, that's one of those little rules you don't really have to worry about. That's just one of those little rules that I have to worry about when I'm judging. And channel cat. Let's click on 20. I think, yeah, this is the 20 one I want to do. 25.5, clearly bumped. On his right hand side, the fish, if you're going to measure them on their sides, they have to be on the right hand sides. This is an open tournament, so you can go belly or side. In slot tournaments, it has to be on the right hand side. It cannot be on the belly. So you see, nose bumped, left eye up. I can clearly see as far 25.5. Every line is a quarter inch. Very legible identifier. Boom. Perfect. Don't have to worry about anything else. Perfect. And the last criteria that I look at is the GPS coordinates. I'm not going to show you guys that because I'm not going to give anyone's fishing spots away. But that's the anti-cheat system to make sure everyone fished on the correct body of water is me being able to see the GPS coordinates of where every single fish was caught. Yep. And Going back, you know what? Let's talk about when the next one is. Tournaments. Scioto River Series. August 13th is the next Scioto River tournament. And now let's go over payouts. So here we are. There's 17 anglers. The payout range for 17 anglers is 15 to 19 anglers. We give 63% the first, 25% the second, 12% the third. Fourth place gets their money back. $30 is the entry fee. What I physically get in my checking account from each entry is $28.67. So the app has a credit card fee of $1.33 on a $30 entry, which is, guys, the app has to make money somehow. You don't get these awesome apps for free. But this is by far the cheapest app out there, and it's the best app. It's the best app for you, the angler, and it's the best app for me, the administrator. For instance, Tourney X, right off the rip, it's a $5 angler fee. So every single person who signed up, the app Tourney X gets $5. So right off the rip, you're at 25, not 28.67. And then there's a PayPal fee. So right off the rip, so it's a $5 app fee, and now you got a PayPal fee, which is probably going to be in that $1.50 range. So instead of it being 28.67, if we were using Tourney X, the what would hit the checking account would be 23.50 or something like that. And I'm pretty sure everyone wants $5 more in their tournaments. Cat King and Big Fish get taken away from what the entry. So Big Fish, obviously $10 per person for Big Fish, and that's mandatory. We don't let Big Fish not be mandatory. Big Fish is mandatory. Everyone gets in it. And Cat King, this I don't charge admin fees. This is the only thing that's kind of like an admin fee, but it's not. This is building a pot for a tournament at the end of the year. So this never sees my pocket. This is actually going to be paid back out to the anglers at some point in time at the end of the year. The tournament's called Kayak. So every single person who entered, 1767 goes to the angler pot, $10 to Big Fish. If you come down here, if you take 17 anglers times 1767, you got your 300.39. That's the prize pool, and then 170 to Big Fish. Over here is just all the math. 0.63 of this, 270.39. That is what Aaron Grubb gets. And then same thing down here, 0.25. That's just the percentages, etc. And the way that works is fourth place gets their money back, $30. So I take 300.39 minus 30. That's the remaining prize pot. And then you take 63% of the remaining prize pot, 25% of the remaining prize pot, 12% remaining prize pot. And these are the numbers you get. You might ask why this is 170.34 and not 170.35 like the math. It's just an Excel rounding issue. So if you highlight all this in the bottom right hand corner, the sum is 300. Oh, you can't see it because of me. The sum is 300.39, and that is the sum of this, whereas it just rounded up a penny over here. So that's how we determine the payouts. So yeah, Wednesday is when these will be paid out. On paper, by rule, I have till the following month, first 5 business days, to pay everyone out. I've made that the rule for the admin because life happens. I could be on a vacation when this tournament ends. I could be out of the country. I could be in the middle of a move. I could be on a fishing trip. Who knows? So on paper, I have till the following month, first 5 business days, to get these paid out. But I typically do it Wednesday the following week. And the reason I do it on Wednesdays is you'll see in here, this is the tournament checking account. This isn't just for the Scioto. This is for all the tournaments. So there's $1,348 in there right now. You see 28.67. So somebody signed up on Thursday, and this is hitting my checking account today. Everyone who signed up on Friday or Saturday, that money's going to hit this checking account on Wednesday. So you'll see on Wednesday, if I come back in here, you're going to see like 15 28.67s hit my checking account. And if you go through this, the history, everyone who signed up that Friday or Saturday, you can clearly tell their money is not here. I haven't had an entry into here since July 15th. And then, yeah. So that's so you guys can actually physically see the timing. And that's why I do the payouts on the following Wednesday, is because that's when the money hits. So and it works out perfect. I work remote on Wednesdays, so I just use my lunch break to pay out the anglers. It's kind of perfect that way too. So out of there, fishing chaos, everything's good there. You know what? Let's just bring up YouTube we'll just run one of my fishing videos in the background, so you're not just watching nothing. And you know what? We'll bring up that one. We'll turn it down. We'll just put one of my fishing videos in the background while I'm talking. That way, there's something going on. So why this will never become a boat tournament? Well, one, when we started this, it was the Scioto River, no tributaries, and it's just a kayak tournament. It's not meant for anyone else. Well, then a few bank fishermen said, "Hey, look, we would fish in this 40p, gross." A few a few bank guys were like, "We would fish in this," and we told the bank guys, "We're like, hey, just so you know, if you're at a pretty big event or disadvantage because we're in kayaks and you're going to be limited to the bank." And then some of the bank guys made good arguments. They're like, we are limited, but we could probably actually cover more ground than you because we can just get up and move. The Scioto River typically has a lot more current than your normal river. So a lot of the kayak guys have to do a float. It's not like they can run up 4 miles, run down 4 miles, and do everything in between. They're kind of stuck to what they have to do. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And the bank guys were like, yeah, we'll fish at a little bit of a disadvantage. We don't care. This is fun. And every event since, honestly, there's been a very good mix of bank guys and kayak guys who are cashing. There's a very good mix. So, do the kayak guys cash more? A little bit, not much. Are they at? Do they have an advantage? Yes, they're on the water. Of course, they have an advantage. There's always a little bit of advantage, but is it a drastic advantage? I don't like. If we were on the Ohio River, it is a drastic advantage. Bank the kayak, drastic advantage. Kayak the boat in the Scioto River, it's definitely an advantage. You can't say it's not, but it's not to the point where it's deterring bank anglers from entering, and it's not to the point where it's deterring bank anglers from cashing. Because almost every tournament, there's a bank angler or two who's cashing or winning the dang event. Um, but we're not letting boaters in because, guys, it's a kayak event that is allowing bank anglers to fish at their own risk. Boaters every single month. Inevitably, a boater will email or message me or post under the results, upset that we don't let them in. And it's like, guys, look, it's not a boat fishing tournament. It is a kayak tournament. Like, I don't understand why you don't understand that. I've asked at minimum, I've asked 20 boat tournaments if I could fish their event with my kayak because I have ways to keep fish alive in my kayak for extended periods of time. Every single one except for one event. And that one event, the only reason they're letting me in is because you're allowed to keep fish. So if they die, there's no issue there if they die. I can actually keep them and then eat them. Even if they die, I'm gonna eat them. You know what I mean? They're not gonna go there's no waste at this tournament because they're like, yeah, you can keep the fish at the end of our tournament, so yeah, you can fish our tournament in your kayak. We don't care. Like, you know what I mean? So there's no risk of waste. All these other boat tournaments are just like, yeah, no. And sometimes they don't even give me a reason. The boat tournaments are just like, it's a boat event and you're in a kayak. And I'm like, okay. I don't sit there and cry and argue and cry and argue over why they should let me in. It's just like, oh yeah, it's a boat tournament. It's not a boat and kayak tournament. It's a boat tournament. You don't meet the regulations to fish in our event, therefore the answer is no. And I'm like, cool. And I just keep going. And then I ask the next director, and the next director's like, no. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I go to the next director. And you know what I did? I created my own events. So I have this platform now where I create my own events for kayakers. Um, so boaters, you don't have any right to be in our events. I get this too. Like sometimes boaters like it's our right to be able to fish in your event. No, it's not your right. But another thing, I will happily make you an event. I will make you an event online, and you can run it however you want. If you want to do weight, fine, but people will cheat. It's you can't do weight online unless you're doing it with your buddies and you trust everybody. Weight's not possible. And we just got out of this conversation with these morons who were like arguing about we have to do it, but like they were trying to get in. I love it. Every time a boat guy tries to get into our event, they also try and change all of our rules to be boat rules. And I'm like, it's no longer a kayak fishing event online then. It's now a boat tournament. You know what I mean? So they keep on saying, like, we got to do it by weight. We got to do it by weight. Guys, I've hosted over 200 events. Two events ever. Maybe the longest weight wouldn't have won or the longest length would not have been also the most weight. Fish scale very well, especially in the same river systems. Whoever has the most length in the Scioto River, I can almost guarantee you they also have the most weight. I can almost guarantee it. Because I have hosted over 200 events, and only two, there was a case where, okay, maybe the winner didn't actually have the most weight as well. So there's a 99% chance the most length will also have the most weight. I don't understand why boat guys are so they're just so like gotta be weight, gotta be weight, gotta be weight. No, it doesn't. Who cares? As long as everyone agrees on the statistic that you're competing on, it doesn't matter, and the stats don't back up your argument. I go look through the history of all our events. We have hundreds of events. Go look at the history of any other event any other scene has ever hosted. You're wrong, and it's you're just wrong. The stats don't support your argument. Um, do I agree? Not every 30-inch fish weighs the same. Of course, not every 30-inch fish weighs the same. But in a tournament where there's 5 fish and someone has 140 inches and someone has 120 inches, do you think that person with 20 inches less has more weight? Not a chance. Not a chance. There is not that much variable in fish weight. They're just not. So you don't have to do it by weight. Also, you're just being stubborn. Hypothetically speaking, if boat events did all their stuff by length for all these years, and then we came in and we start doing it by weight, they would be making the same exact arguments for length that they're making for weight just because that's what they're used to. They're just being old and grumpy and cranky. Like, just because that's what you're used to doesn't, one, make it smart, or two, make it right. So, I'm sorry. Like, the stats don't support your argument, and it's an online event. Another thing they don't like the fact that you can launch anywhere. Let's meet up there. Like, let's meet up at the same spot and launch. Like, that defeats the purpose. We are launching above the Lucasville Bridge and below Kenton, the city or the town of Kenton. And they're like, well, why don't we just launch at the same time? I'm like, because it's not a boat event. Like, you keep on asking us. You want to get into our event, but then you keep on asking us to change all the rules to make it a boat event. It's not a boat event. So just stop. Stop. And every time they ever make a suggestion, it's always towards their favor. And it's like, I'm banging my head against the wall with these guys sometimes because it reminds me of arguments I used to have with someone that I released from this scene because they don't get their way and they just argue and argue and argue and argue. And it's like, look, it's not going to change. So stop arguing. So that's, yeah. So boaters, look, you're not ever going to be in the kayak event ever. So stop asking. But I will happily make you an event. I will make you an event online. You have to turn on your GPS timestamps. I know that butt hurts some boaters too. Some boaters like, I don't want anyone to find out where I fish. Well, one, sorry, it's really not that big of a secret. Two, how else are we gonna know that you're not cheating? Three, online tournament. You know how easy it would be to just throw lead down a catfish's throat and weigh them in an online event, not in person. At least in person, you can kind of tell when a fish is deformed. An online event with a picture, like, you know how easy it would be to cheat. Also, it's not physically possible to take a picture with a weight, with the weight being legible. All right, so if we were going to do it by weight, you would have to, in one photo, in a single photo, the scale would have to be in the picture, the entire fish would have to be in the picture, and the reading on the scale would have to be legible. So you either would have to have the world's longest arms and have the world's strongest shoulders, because you would be holding the fish out like this, holding the phone over here to get the entire fish in the picture. Now you're holding the fish up with one hand and you're taking the picture over here. You're doing a selfie over here. And to get the entire fish in the picture, the phone has to be so far away. Now you can't read the numbers on the scale. It's not possible. It's not possible. You can't do it by way online. It's just not, unless you trust, unless it's you and your buddies and you trust everyone to not cheat. It's just not possible to get the entire fish in the picture and also get a number unless you have a scale in your boat, like a big scale in your boat in a tub. But then now you got to prove the weight of the tub somehow, and you're on a boat. You're weighing a fish on a boat, and there's variable in that. So every single time someone brings any kind of suggestion or argument up to why it should be weight or why boats should be allowed in, it's just they don't think it through. It's just like, oh, I'll bring a scale on the boat, and I'm like, all right, think this through. It's an online event. You gotta take a picture. All right, now the scale has to be legible. Now you gotta hold it. If you're by yourself, you're gonna hold a 50-pound fish up with one hand, and you're gonna take a picture with the other one. Like, that's not gonna. It's not gonna happen. So again, I kind of went on a rant. The reason I went a little ranty was we were just in a group chat with these boat guys who wanted to get in, and they just, no matter how much we explained to them how it wasn't going to work, it ended up becoming like a penis measuring contest, like it always does with dudes in catfish world. Oh, my daddy beat your daddy. Like, no joke. The one dude was like, my daddy beat your daddy in catfishing back in the day. And I'm like, no one cares. Like, present to me how we're going to do this. And then they went down like the whole, like, all right, well, let's do this. And then he was like, no, well, let's all launch from the same spot. Let's just be fair. And then another thing, he's like, I can have a scale there, and I can, like, you can come back and weigh your fish, and we can run up and down. He also said a 9.9 motor is not much better than a trolling motor that we have. You're so dumb, and you are so wrong. They're not even in the same classification. Like, no. And then you're going to run up and down the river with a scale and weigh all of our fish and also fish at the same time? Or wait, no, or we're 2 miles away. Now we have to somehow keep a 40-inch flathead alive in our kayaks for 2 miles back to weigh and then go fishing again. Uh, that's 3 hours. That's 3 hours gone. So it just doesn't make sense. All your arguments are bad. Sorry I went off on a little rant, but yeah, just if you want boaters, if you want an event, I'll make you an event. I will happily make you an event, but you gotta do it by length. Like, that's all there is to it. You gotta do it by length. All right. Napoleon syndrome came out of here. So Kayak Mike out of here.